It's mystically, by the way. Thank you. Watching a video about from Primal Space, seeing it randomly on the feed, and like, why not? Let's watch it. I like interesting videos. The greatest heart heist in history.
It's a hot summer's evening in Paris. For weeks, a record-breaking heat wave has been cooking the city, leaving the streets empty and the Louvre quieter than ever. No one dares to go outside, but for one man, it's time to strike. Throughout the night, he pulls off the heist of the century, plucking the Mona Lisa from the Louvre and disappearing into the city. This set off a worldwide investigation, leading French police down a 2-year rabbit hole of false leads and famous arrests, before a mysterious letter eventually gave the thief away. We modeled the entire thing to show you how a single man stole the Mona Lisa, how he almost got away with it, and the elaborate plan behind the heist that was eventually revealed decades later. As the sun went down that Sunday evening, the last few tourists were trickling out of the Louvre. But just before it closed, a man entered the museum dressed in the Louvre's official white uniform. Blending in as an employee, he quickly found his way to a small storage closet, squeezed his way in, and waited out the entire night. The Louvre was closed the next day, so very few employees were going to be patrolling the museum. At precisely 7:15 the next morning, the thief emerged into an almost empty Louvre. With no one in sight, he quickly made his way into the Salon Carré, and there it was.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. So he basically went in, stayed overnight, and then obviously it's closed. So he got the right uniform and he just waited in the closet and then he came out. I was just looking at this scene. I'm like, I hope a time machine actually get invented. And I say that because like I'm very curious to know what time. Like I get to like I know. I want to be invisible though. I want to low key be invisible, right? Like I want to be invisible, but at the same, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be in, bro. I want to be invisible, but at the same time, I just want to see what it was like to live. Like, gee, random times, no cameras. Like you can low key get away with so much crime. Then, but I'm not even saying for crime. We just the lifestyle. Like, no devices, no phones. Everybody outside, just being humans. We just being humans. We just living and just keep it going. Literally, like it's just a different era. You know what I'm saying? Food would probably be shit, but like, yeah. Well, I know it'd be healthier. It wouldn't be as, bro. What just happened? Why?
Closed, a man entered the museum dressed in the Louvre's official white uniform. Blending
Okay.
in as an employee, he quickly found his way to a small storage closet, squeezed his way in, and waited out the entire night. The Louvre was
Yeah. So he
closed the
stayed
next day,
overnight.
so very few employees were going to be patrolling the museum. At precisely 7:15 the next morning, the thief emerged into an almost empty Louvre. With no one in sight, he quickly made his way into the Salon Carré, and there it was. At the time, the Mona Lisa didn't have its own room, and it wasn't nearly as famous as it is today, but the thief was about to change that. With no one in sight, he pulled the painting off its metal pins and carried it to a nearby stairwell. Using a screwdriver, he managed to remove the painting from its protective frame before covering it in a white sheet and heading straight for the nearest exit. But as he reached for the door, it was locked. At that exact moment, a plumber working for the Louvre appeared out of nowhere. He assumed that the man was a Louvre employee, and so he helped him open the door. And just like that, the thief disappeared into the city with the Mona Lisa under his arms. The whole
And he took
heist
it
was
out the.
over in just a matter of minutes.
So
But
he
it would
took.
take another 28 hours before anyone realized the painting was really gone. That week, photographers had been going through the museum and taking the paintings to be officially photographed, so blank spaces on the wall were completely normal. But when the photographers showed up the next morning without the Mona Lisa, it became clear that something was extremely wrong. The Mona Lisa was officially missing. The police were called and a team of detectives descended on the museum. France closed its borders and stationed tanks around the Louvre. Just kidding. These tanks
I
weren't
was gonna
used,
say, what the
but
fuck?
they can be used in War Thunder. War Thunder is a free-to-play epic military action game where you can fight in dynamic battles using land, sea, and air vehicles spanning, and also play War Thunder mobile on your phone. Download it for free on iOS or Android using the link in the description. It sent shock. When the Louvre announced that one of its prized possessions had disappeared, it sent shockwaves all around the world. And the question was, where did it go? All the police had found was the wooden picture frame and a fingerprint left behind by the thief. To get the investigation going, local newspapers started offering a reward of $250,000 for any information that would lead.
Bro, in 1911, $250,000 was fucking life changing. I know it was life changing. $250,000 in the year 1911, and then what, like 19 shit, anywhere from like what 10 plus years later, the Great Depression happened. So if imagine you found the thief, you got that 250 during the Great Depression, you would have been good, low key. One in like, oh, I guess it was just a U.S. thing, but yeah, 250 back then. Oh my God, it was probably like $1 million for
The
sure.
response was overwhelming. Thousands of people sent letters and showed up to police stations with all kinds of information, placing the Mona Lisa all over the world. 2 separate witnesses recalled seeing a man leaving the Louvre with a bulky object, but the descriptions of the man were completely different. One person claimed that the Mona Lisa was on a freight train heading through Belgium, and another claimed that the painting was on a ship which had already set sail for America. But perhaps the most promising suspect was the famous artist, Pablo Picasso. A secretary who knew Picasso wrote to the police and admitted that he had stolen several Iberian statues from the Louvre. He claimed to have sold these statues to Picasso, who went on to use them in one of his paintings. It seemed unlikely, but after checking the serial number on the statues, the Louvre confirmed that they really were from the museum. Picasso was arrested and taken in for questioning. Meanwhile, the police turned their attention to another famous suspect, American banker and art collector J.P. Morgan.
J.P.
At the time,
fucking Morgan. What the? Yo, what? You still hear about J.P. Morgan to still to this day, and you saying this man stole paintings, and he's one of the most known guys on the planet? Like just banks and all money and stuff. Like
forgery was
I guess they.
a business, and paintings were often being forged and sold to naive millionaires in America. According to the claim, Morgan had commissioned the heist, and the painting was now on its way to him. Police in America stopped and searched a boat pulling into New York, but there was no Mona Lisa on board. Theories kept coming in from all over the world, but after 2 years of searching, the location of the Mona Lisa was still a complete mystery. As it turned out, the Mona Lisa hadn't gone far at all, and it was sitting in an apartment just 2 miles from the Louvre. This was the apartment of Vincenzo Perugia, a 29-year-old Italian who used to work at the Louvre as a handyman. He knew every weakness of the Louvre. He knew that it was closed on Mondays. He knew about the photographers, and it was him who had made the Mona Lisa's protective case, which he dismantled so easily during the heist. After leaving the Louvre, he hid the painting in a trunk with a false floor, which he had made himself. But how did he get away with it for so long? Amazingly, Perugia already had a criminal record, and his fingerprints were already in the system. But only his right-hand fingerprints were in the system, and the one on the picture frame was a left-hand print, and so a match was never found. During the investigation, police had visited Perugia's apartment twice, but never found anything. Little did they know that the Mona Lisa was hiding right under their noses. Perugia had pulled
That's
off a
crazy.
stupidly simple heist, and it seemed
Crazy.
he would get away with it. But after
You know what's crazy also too? I'm just thinking, like, I'm not gonna lie. This is another reason I want to talk. I want to do crime. I know that sounds crazy. I know that just sounded crazy. I want to do crime back in the day. I think doing crime back then was seem fun. And I don't want to like off nobody, hurt nobody, none of that. None of that. I don't want to hurt nobody. I just want to do crime like steal paintings, steal jewelry, steal guns, and just make it a world mystery. I don't know. I think that would be lit, low key. I think that should be fun. Steal pies or something. Just going to be a pasta thief or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The jacket thief, the hat thief. Like, I don't know. I feel like that should be hard. You know what I'm saying?
2 years holding the painting hostage, he started to get impatient. He wrote an anonymous letter to an art dealer in Florence, the city where Da Vinci painted the masterpiece. In the letter,
Florence?
Art dealer hostage, he started to get impatient. He wrote an anonymous letter to an art dealer in Florence, the city where Da Vinci painted the masterpiece. In the letter,
I forgot to say Florida. Oh, fuck? This thing was in Florida doing okay.
To have the Mona Lisa in his possession and said he wanted to return it back to its home. He signed the letter with the name Leonardo and took the next train to Florence. The art dealer and his associate agreed to meet Perugia in his hotel room to authenticate the painting. With the doors locked, Perugia opened up the trunk, and to their surprise, it really was the Mona Lisa. In order to further authenticate the painting, the art dealers took it back to their studio, assuring Perugia that he would be rewarded for bringing it back to Italy. But just an hour later, the police showed up at his door and arrested him. Perugia ended up spending just 7 months in prison and died just 10 years later. Although the search for the Mona Lisa...
So he served 7 months and died 10 years later. Hold on, so he basically returned the Mona Lisa back to his original home, so it was already stolen. That shit crazy. That's crazy.
It was over. The truth behind what really happened seemed to have gone to the grave. But in 1932, a story was published that revealed a much more elaborate plan behind the heist. Written by Carl Decker, he claimed to know the man who was really behind the heist, a man named Eduardo de Valfierno, an expert in art forgery.
Eduardo de Valfierno. That shit sound hard. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, if you ever see me change my name, it's gonna be some French. You gonna call me Antonio Gordon Giovanni. Ooh, that shit gonna be hard. I don't even know what I said the first time, so I can't even repeat it. I'm just gonna have to watch the video, bro. Because honestly, I got that off the top of the head, and I guarantee you, honestly, I really don't remember what I said. Like Antonio Devon, something like that. I don't know, right? But yeah, Cremute the Blackson. Hey, that's my son, my future son name for her. You know what I'm saying? If I decide, like, you know what I'm saying, have like 8 sons or something. Nah, I probably name a kid that though. I probably would name a kid that for sure though. Cremute the Blackson. The Blackson.
He had come up with a grand plan to sell not 1, but 6 perfect copies of the Mona Lisa to 6 unsuspecting millionaires lined up in America. He commissioned a to 6 plan to sell not 1, but 6 perfect copies of the Mona Lisa to 6 unsuspecting millionaires lined up.
So a nigga was selling
he commissioned a talented
fakes
French
and shit.
painter to make the copies and shipped them off to America and put them into storage. In order for them to believe they were really getting their hands on the Mona Lisa, the real one had to go missing, and so he contracted Perugia to pull off the heist. When news spread that the Mona Lisa had gone missing, the paintings were sold to their buyers, and the 3 involved ran off with the equivalent of $90 million. And now, time ran off with the equivalent.
Bro, hold on. Let me see that shit again.
The paintings were sold to their buyers, and the 3 involved ran off with the equivalent of $90 million.
$90 million in 1911. Oh my god. I'm mad. Like, you would probably feel like you a trillionaire. Like, what do you do with $90 million? That's 30 mil. Yeah. So that's 30 mil a piece between three guys. Shout out to three. Who was the other guy? So I know it's okay. Hold on, let me go back. My laptop dying, so I ain't trying to go back too
He
far.
commissioned a talented French painter to make the copies
French painter.
and shipped them off to America.
And it was another dude that told him to go steal it. So it was some guy that set it up. And then he told the dude to go steal it. And then you got the painter involved. 30 mil each. 90 million in 1911. Them niggas did not struggle during the Great Depression at all.
The three involved ran off
That's
with
crazy.
the equivalent of $90 million. And now, time for the Primal Space giveaway. The winner of the previous giveaway is Josh. Congrats. In the next video, we'll be giving away this $100 Amazon gift card. All you need to do is sign up at the link below, like the video, and leave a comment saying what you thought of the heist. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dog. The most wanted shipwreck. That's so dope. See, I like these videos, but like my laptop got a charge, so I can't